Hello, Daz Studio enthusiasts. This is Not From This World, and I want to welcome you to my tutorial series. Now, today I want to talk a little bit about post work because in my last video, I had Milika here in a scene and I rendered up a picture for my thumbnail, and it had some slight issues with it. And as I was editing it, I thought, hey, I just need to perhaps show you a few tricks in GIMP that can help you fix a few problems in your render without really changing it a whole lot. And I have to admit that I try and keep all of my post work to a minimum, but sometimes you just have to do a little bit of post work. So what we're going to do is render up a picture, and this is a very similar picture to what I did in my last video, but I intentionally made some mistakes on it, and I'm going to take the render and put it into GIMP. And once it's into GIMP, we're going to do a little bit of post work, and I'm going to give you two big tips. Okay, so let's render up this picture. I'm just going to take Milika and render. One of the things that I notice I do a lot is accidentally have the spotlight in the background. So I deliberately did it this time. I just put a couple spotlights in the background. So we're going to fix that. And then her dress is kind of messed up. I used Mesh Grabber to take this strap of her dress and put it down on her shoulder, but I have an artifact here because Mesh Grabber isn't perfect and I struggled a little bit. So I've got this piece of fabric that's kind of just out of place, and maybe even in here, kind of on her chest, we can do a little post work. But other than that, you know, this is a decent render, but I just have some problems that we need to fix. So let's go ahead and put this into GIMP, and then we'll fix these issues. Okay, so we are now in GIMP, and the first thing I want to do is fix this background. And so my two big suggestions when doing post work is, number one, zoom in to do your repairs, and number two, keep it as simple as possible. So what I'm going to do to fix this spotlight that is out of place is I'm going to go to View, and I'm going to go to Zoom, and we're going to zoom in to about 400%. And this makes everything very magnified, but it's going to make it a lot easier to work with. The larger you zoom in, the smaller you have to work, and the more detail we'll have. Now to fix this, I'm just going to go to my lasso, and I'm going to copy and paste this area next to our mess up. So I'm just going to start by kind of selecting this box here like this, and then Control copy, Control paste, and now I can move this over and begin fixing the issue. Now I might have to do this a number of times because we kind of have an angle here, but I'm just going to copy and paste this. And fix the damage. Let's see, something like that. All right. And I can do the same thing here, just kind of lasso this area. Control copy, Control paste. We can move this over. Now just remember, the more you zoom in, the easier this is going to be. And it's obviously not perfect. You know, I don't have a straight line here or anything. But I would be willing to bet if we were to look at this as we zoom out, we'll be pretty pleased with our results. So I can fix that straight line by just copying and pasting that. Okay, so looks pretty good. I can go in, like if I have some areas I can't copy and paste, we can use the smudge tool. So this is the smudge tool. The more I'm zoomed in and the smaller my smudge tool is going to be is probably the best. I can change the size here by just kind of shrinking it down. And for example, I can smudge into this area here to get that fence. This is outside of Milika's apartment. There's a fence outside, so I can kind of fix that issue, get the top of the fence angled properly by smudging it. And if I don't like certain things, I can just smudge it away. Right in here, I'm not sure what this is. I could just smudge it out. I don't want to smudge too much if we have detail, but you know, that is a good way to also fix imperfections. I come up here. So what I can do is copy and paste, lasso again, and just kind of lasso. Perhaps this has a blend, so I might lasso from the top corner here and just make a sliver of wall, copy and paste, and then see I can drop this down, and we should, as I keep pasting, we should have kind of that same wall gradient. We can fix this. So I'm just hitting Control V to make more paste, and I'm just going right down the wall. So sometimes it's best to make like an irregular shape with your lasso because that breaks up straight lines. So if I do that and hit Control Copy, Control Paste, I can kind of start moving this around. Just hit paste several times and it kind of just breaks up that texture. What's cool about using the lasso in GIMP is it's going to keep the texture. So this texture is going to remain the same. I'm not smudging anything. I have noticed that when I use the smudge tool, it works really good for distances, but a lot of times I won't get the results I want if I have any texture detail in my render. We can kind of look and see what this is going to look like. This is zoomed in. So hopefully when I zoom out, go to View, Zoom, let's go to 100%, you don't really see the issues. All right, so yeah, not perfect. And once I have this done, I may want to go into the smudge actually. And sometimes a small smudge is good, but sometimes a larger smudge is actually all you need. Just kind of smudge that area out and we have some good results. So on this wall, not a lot of texture, so we can smudge and fix that area. So you can see my fence looks pretty good. And now this area here is fixed. I did notice that when I rendered, to get the lighting right, I don't have a ceiling. So we have kind of the plants and outdoors visible on her roof. So we can go in and easily fix that. I might zoom in for this as well. Let's go back to 400%. Let's go up all the way across and you can see I just have this. For something like this, that's very simple to just fix with our paint. So I can go in here, grab the what's called color picker tool. It's just like a little eyedropper, and I can select that black color, go to my paintbrush, and I can select a different kind of brush. Let's select this solid black one, and then we'll shrink things down a little bit, shrink the brush down, and I can just fix this area that has the outside. Might be a good idea to just get a straight line. So for my straight line, I can just make a lasso, make a straight line like this. Copy, paste, And see, now I can just move this up and boom. All right, let's view 100%. The one thing I don't like about GIMP is you never get back to that size that it was when you first load it. So see, like we have everything bigger now. But that looks pretty good. I can live with any changes. You know, we are focused on Tamilika because, well, she's the center of attention and she's super cute. So we're not going to be looking too much and going, oh man, that wall was messed up. A person that doesn't know that there was any problem with that area won't even notice it. All right, so we got the background fixed. Now we want to fix this area here, and I want to remove this fabric that's kind of sticking out. It just looks out of place. It doesn't look right. So again, the trick is zoom in and do minimal changes. So I'm going to zoom back into 400%. And I'm going to come down here. Now, her skin texture is very nice. In fact, with the rendered picture, I like her skin texture. So we don't want to change that. We just want to eliminate this spot here. So what I'm going to do and what I want to do is keep this very minimal. So I'm going to take my lasso and I am just going to select randomly some of her skin in the general area of what I want to change. I want to keep the brightness of her skin the same. I don't want to change any of the hue because then you're going to see this. But if I select this, and notice how I did it randomly, I'm going to hit Control, Copy, Control, Paste. And then I'm just going to move this and start covering over that fabric that is not correct. So I'm just hitting Control, Copy, Control, Paste. And we can now just kind of eliminate the fabric that shouldn't be there. Like I said, the more you zoom in and the smaller you mess with stuff, the better things are going to look. So I'm going to take this off right here as well. Now you can kind of see that I'm getting into some different colors here. So as we play with this, the smudge tool can come in and I can just kind of smudge that line that I was creating with the different colored skin. I can just kind of click it and just smooth it out. We can do the same thing over here. So I don't necessarily like this. So in order to fix it, I don't want to cut and paste from where I fixed the other part of her dress. We're going to lasso, and I'm just going to select a small area of her skin next to where I want to edit. Control Copy, Control Paste. And see, now I can move over that and we can fix this area. I'm just hitting Control Paste repeatedly until I get what I want covered up finished. And we can do a little bit of blending with the smudge tool, not much. I'm not trying to change that skin texture. I just want to get rid of that fragment of dress that's just in the way. So I'm pretty pleased with that. Let's go and zoom out again. Let's go to 100%. And you can see the texture of her skin. It looks fantastic in my opinion. So those are my two real suggestions when you're doing any post work. Zoom in to do the post work and keep everything minimal. And then when you back out and zoom back out, everything is going to look fantastic. So I'm happy with my repair. It looks like this dress top is correct now. It doesn't have any kind of funky fabric sticking up. And I can now save this. So to save in GIMP, I always just go to Edit, File, Export As, and then I just hit Export, Replace, and then hit Export again, and it writes over the file that I had saved. All right, so now let's get out of GIMP and we'll look at our picture officially. Okay, so here's our finished product, and you can see that I took something that was messed up and we just easily did a little bit of post work and got it fixed in GIMP. I love GIMP, but I use it as sparingly as possible with post work. Okay, everyone, I hope this really helped you out. And if you have any questions, please comment and ask me, and I'll be happy to help you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell me what you think about this video. Okay, happy Friday, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and don't forget to render, render, render.